Greetings everybody, John Tar here with a dozen spoiler-free tips and tricks for South Park: The Fractured Butthole. So I'm not going to go over any story spoilers, but I will show off some of the mechanics and explain some of the late game items and skills that you'll unlock that kind of open up new areas and let you access new collectibles and stuff like that. So first tip, at the very beginning of the Fractured Butthole, you choose one of three classes for the new kid. And my tip is don't stress over which class is best, because eventually you'll be able to change your class at any time, and not just change your class at any time, but be able to mix and match skills between multiple classes. So you start with the Speedster, Brutalist, and Blaster, but eventually they add like another, I believe, 9 other classes, and you can really customize the hell out of your out of how the new kid works. Second tip is punch every mailbox and every item in the environment every time. They regenerate frequently, and especially the things like the parking meters, they give you a decent amount of money, especially early game. They don't regenerate instantly, but the scrap that you get and the money that you get from punching parking meters ends up being very helpful for earning some money that you'll need for later quests in the game. So the third tip is do not sell scrap. I made this mistake. Craft something with the scrap that you have and then sell that. So when we go to the vendor, let's see. So I've crafted a ton of stuff, but it's very easy to get over 1,000 items or pieces of scrap and food and biohazard materials and meds. And they sell for a couple pennies each, and it might be tempting to sell 999 items of scrap for, $100, but don't do it. It's much more effective to craft items with the scrap that you found and buy Elmer's glue or the duct tape or whatever other crafting materials you need, and then selling that artifact. You'll earn much more by selling. Let's see. I don't have any artifacts to sell because I crafted them all and I have over $1,000 right now. So the fourth tip is more of an explanation of how the whole game is structured. It's structured very similarly to the Stick of Truth in that it's a day-night structure. So you start off on day 1, and there are 4 total days and 3 total nights. Every night time is a more linear story mission that you can't really deviate from. The daytime missions is more exploring and finding items throughout the map. There will frequently be, you'll talk to the Coon or some other character and they'll say, hey, do you want to change out of your costume? And know that is actually a signal that you're about to start the nighttime mission. If you choose to not change out of your costume, you will be able to explore the town more throughout the day, and when you return to your house, you will then be given an opportunity to change out of your costume into your pajamas and get ready for bed. So the 5th tip is that you cannot miss collectibles. So like I was just talking about, the game is very structured in that when you go from day to night, you kind of get locked along a path. And in South Park: The Stick of Truth, there were missable items that you needed for specific achievements, but items like the toilets, all 20 toilets that you need to poop in, and then all 40 Yahweh items, you cannot miss any of them. So don't stress about exploring every single nook and cranny of the map before going to the next night mission. Just go ahead and do it. So the 6th tip that I wanted to share is the timeline of the different skills that you unlock throughout the Fractured Butthole, and kind of show you in the environment what items to kind of like make a mental note of to return to later on in the game. So at the end of day 1, you unlock Diabetic Rage, which lets you move big objects and heavy objects, and any item that has a green base to it. So like this water heater that's in Cartman's garage here, it's got this kind of green Lego base plate to it. And when you go into inspection mode, you'll have these two hands here which let you call your friend to use diabetic rage to push over large items. And again, that's at the end of day 1. The second skill that you unlock is the fart core, and any pinwheels that are scattered through the environment, these are fart core abilities. So if you inspect it and then tab over to the human alien kite and analyze it, you will then be able to jump up to previously unreachable areas. You'll call Kyle in and very similar to the Stick of Truth, fart your way up to rooftops. So the next skill you unlock is the pause time fart. Now this is essential for rescuing the cats that you see, and then also there's a couple side quests as well that involve this skill. So when you hit, let's see, yeah, you hit that skill and then you hit left and right, you'll pause the world around you, and then you can walk right up to the cats and pick them up. You can also like move objects while you've paused time, and then those objects will stay where you left them after the time fart pause has passed. The next skill during night 2 is you'll learn how to put out lava. So normally there will be these red Lego bricks in front of the bank. You'll be able to scan it and call in Stan to put out the lava. You'll also unlock the ability to fart and pressurize these pipes. So any kind of openings to pipes that you see in the environment, after night 2, you will be able to interact with them and open up new passageways. And the final skill that you'll unlock is called Haywire, and this lets you interact with any electrical panels that are on the wall. Wow, tip 6 was a long one. So on to tip 7. So frequently when you look at the map, you will see little stars that have popped up on these various icons. And what that star actually means is that the merchant in that store has new items for you, and that you have not been to that merchant since they got those new items. It doesn't mean that there is a quest there or anything like that. All the star means is that there's something new for you to buy. So you don't necessarily have to check and recheck every store after every day, and there's new stars on all of the different merchants. All right, tip number 8 is that the icons under your powers actually show the range. Now this one you probably figured out a lot faster than I did, but I felt kind of dumb. So for example, under the special ability here, Deadly Dive, or the super ability, it shows a huge yellow grid pattern, and that means that that from the center to anywhere I can attack anybody, and the one red spot means that I can attack one person with this skill. All right, tip number 9 is specific for the PC, because I actually found doing these toilet challenges much more difficult on the PC with a keyboard and mouse than with a controller. And so it's difficult to see right here, but it's saying SA, SA. You're supposed to press down and then left, essentially. Imagine kind of a quarter circle to the left, not AS. And it takes a little bit of practice to really learn the motion that you're supposed to be doing with the keyboard and figure out what order you're supposed to be pressing those keys. Because unlike with when you're doing this with a controller, it's very easy to see, oh, it's a quarter circle to the left, but the animations on the AS and the SA and all that, it's not very clear for the keyboard and mouse. So the 10th tip is how to use the snappers and your farts effectively. Now this took me longer to figure out than I would like to admit, but items like propane tanks, I've learned pretty quickly that if you throw a snapper at it, it'll actually start a little bit of a fire. They never explode on their own. You have to then throw a fart to create an explosion and set off that propane tank. Now also, there will sometimes be quests that involve lighting things on fire, and you can use your snappers to do that. And there's also a couple situations where there will be just like candles sitting around the background, like in Kyle's house. There's a menorah, and if you light all of the candles with the snappers, you get like a little extra bonus item. So the 11th tip is that some characters, like Mr. Mackey, unlock the selfie ability much later in the game. So characters like these two guys at the bus stop, they'll have the selfie option right away. Obviously, some of them will require that you have a higher selfie follower count before they will take a selfie with you. But some characters don't even have the option until much later in the game, after they get a cell phone or whatever story item happens. And finally, I wish I realized this earlier in the game, there is no achievement for taking selfies with every single character. You get the master level selfie bonus on the character sheet well before taking selfies with every single character in the game. So don't stress taking and retaking selfies with every single character. There is one special late game artifact that actually scales bonus damage with how many followers you have on Coonstagram. And even with that, it's not that super helpful of a thing, of an item to have. So yeah, don't stress taking selfies with every single character in the game, because again, there's no achievement tied to getting all of the selfies in the game. So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. I hope this tips and trick video helped you out. There are certainly items that I wish that I knew at the start of playing South Park: The Fractured But Whole. Be sure to check out all the other walkthrough videos and collectible pages. I've actually done quite a bit more collectible stuff on my website than I have videos for this game, just because this game is very visual and not very strategic. It's just finding hidden items throughout the environment more than deep strategy. So I've actually done a lot more walkthroughs just using blog posts for this game. So be sure to check those out. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe for more South Park: Fractured But Whole videos and walkthroughs. Thanks for watching, and game on.